Okay, let's talk about a major, massive, colossal, huge, dare I say it, really big mistake that people make all of the time. Big, big, massive, ugly mistake. And here it is. Okay. They think they're in business to sell products or services. That's what people think they're in business to. Now, that isn't just people starting. That's people that have been in business for a while. They'll think, yeah, I'm in the business of selling this or doing this or whatever. It's a massive, massive mistake, folks. You cannot believe that you're in the business of just selling a product, okay? Because that would mean you just sell something to somebody, you never see them again. That's not where you want to be. Where you want to be is this. You want to be the person who does this. You want to create, or another way to put it would be to acquire customers. Create and or acquire customers. Because doesn't it, first of all, sound different? Yes. And when you think about creating or acquiring a customer, this means you're going to get somebody with whom you're going to develop a relationship that is going to have a lifetime of value. It's going to go on and on and on and on. And down the road, you're going to find that you have a monstrously valuable and profitable business if you acquire customers. Because when you acquire customers, you can sell them more stuff. See, if you're the kind of person who acquires products, what does that mean? You know, you sell products, you sell one, you're done, right? I mean, that sounds silly, doesn't it? Whereas you sell to a customer, and that customer is going to buy again and again and again. This creates a concept we call lifetime customer value. And this lifetime customer value is based on your relationship with these customers over the lifetime of their relationship with you. And so when you get a customer, your goal is not just to sell them one time. Your goal is to sell them again and again and again. And so you're looking to create a relationship with a customer. Have you ever noticed that some businesses will lose money to acquire a customer? Maybe it's a store that has a big sale on something, man, they're losing money on that. That's a lost leader. You probably heard that term. What does that mean? That means they're losing money to get you in. This is the lead into the business. But then they expect they're going to make money either immediately or from the long-term relationship with you. So that's how they start that relationship. So the lifetime customer value is the total value, and this is basically all the sales, profits, however you want to measure it, but the total value over the lifetime of relationship. And so you sit around and you add up, how do I make money off a customer? This can be a value from selling your products and services. It could also be, we talked about selling other people, so I'm going to call this as an affiliate. So you might sell your products, you might sell as an affiliate. Either way, this is something where you're going to be able to put yourself in a great position to make a lot of money, okay? Because you're going to have this lifetime relationship with people. One of the goals of any business, then, recognizing a lifetime customer value is, how do I make it bigger, okay? If I want to increase value, how do I do that? Well, 3 key ways. Okay, the first 2 you're in control of. The third one you're not necessarily that much in control of. But number 1 way is to increase the average purchase. Because you're going to have people who buy from you, and if they're paying $30 every time that they come and buy from you, then what do you want to do? You want to try to get to pay $35 or $40 or $50. So if the average purchase goes up, obviously multiply that by hundreds or thousands of purchases, your profit goes up, right? Number 2 is increase how often they buy. So we want to increase how often they buy. Maybe right now, people only buy from you a couple of times a year. Well, what if they bought from you, instead of 2 times a year, 2.5 times a year, or 3 times a year? If they did that, well, then you'd make more money. Now, what happens if you increase number one and increase number two? Then you get an exponential increase, right? It gets even better. If you can get them to buy a little more often and buy a little bit more each time, you make a lot more money because you're not having to do anything spectacular to do it. And here's the power of email marketing, which we're going to be talking a lot about throughout the 10K Club training, is this. In order to contact these people either way, the easiest and most cost-effective way to do it is first and foremost by email. And what's your cost? You remember what I told you the cost of having an email account? It's like $20 a month. Okay, not a lot of money. And so if we can put people into our email account as leads and especially as customers, and we can contact them again and again and again, then we can increase how often they buy. We can increase their average purchase all by email, which means what's it cost us per sale? Very, very little. So you can see how this gets really profitable in a hurry. See, unlike an offline business where we've got to send them a letter or run a radio ad or wait till they wander in the store, we can reach out and touch them. Remember that old telephone commercial, right? Reach out and touch somebody. We can reach out and touch them by email and follow up with them, and that's very powerful. So because we can follow up and touch them, we can sell them again and again and again. And then number three is if you have the type of business where referrals can be very profitable, then having a warm and fuzzy referral from someone who's your customer to another potential customer could create more customers. And that, my friends, creates tremendous value and, of course, exponentially increases the value because if you can have somebody refer 2 or 3 other people, that greatly increases that average customer value. And so this is a really important concept, lifetime customer value, and understanding that as you're designing and planning out your business, that you've got to be thinking about, boy, down the road, how do I create a great, great customer value in all of this? What is it that I need to do that's going to make my value great? And so you can deliver great value to your customers and get great value from them over the lifetime in return. As we talk about all of this, the value and the marketing and everything else, one of the biggest things that you need to understand is the difference of 2 types of products that way we think about things. We think about things in a marketing standpoint is what we call the front end and the back end. Now, oddly enough, if you were the front end of a horse, it's more fun than being the back end. But the back end of marketing is actually, this is where the really big bucks are located. Because the front end is the first product or service that you sell. This is the first time you begin to create a relationship with your customer. It's the first interaction. It's the first thing that happens. And so you create this front end, and that's great. Now, once you create the front end, then what you need to do is you want to go sell more stuff on the back end. And the back end is therefore, not to be funny, everything else. Okay, this is everything else you continue to sell to a customer during your lifetime relationship with them. And because, again, we can contact them by email, this is the internet, very inexpensive, then we can sell to them again and again and again, very little marketing costs. So I want you to keep that in mind, that email equals low marketing cost. And so we could follow up with these people again and again and again. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, I can understand, boy, if I get one product created, I could see that. But how am I going to create a whole bunch of products? Oh, this is where the internet, again, shows how powerful it is. Because before the internet, for millennia, I mean, down through the ages, back to when we crawled out of the primordial ooze, to sell something to somebody, you either had to go find someone that had it and you could make some deal with them. So you didn't have to create it yourself, warehouse it, source it, everything else. But then you still had to find a way to contact people, like by direct mail or however you had to do it, or by telephone. Very expensive to contact people. Now with email, it's easy. So that's really easy. But because of the internet, we now have literally hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of companies that have what are called affiliate programs. And so we are now able to go out and find any product or service pretty much that you could think of that your target market might want, and sell them that product or service without you ever having to create it, create a sales funnel, create customer service, handle merchant accounts, deliver the product. None of that. All you do is you make a referral. That other company takes care of all that hard work, and you get a check. So affiliate program is simply where you're going to make a referral online to another company and get paid for it. So let's talk about the fact that we have this hot target market. That's an important concept, as I mentioned before. And in this hot target market, here's the way that they function and the way they think. Your hot target market, I know this is really creative for a guy who used to practice law to say, but you know what they do? They buy stuff. Okay? That's what they do. If they're golfers, they're buying golf stuff. If they're gardeners, they're buying gardening stuff. If they're people that are learning about stock investment, they're buying investment information. Whatever your market is, they're buying stuff. As a group, they buy a lot of stuff. And collectively, in many of these markets, they buy millions or billions of dollars of stuff. They're going to buy it whether you market it or not. They're going to buy it whether you ever say, hey, I got something cool or not. They're going to keep spending money. This is what they do. So your target market, whatever your target market is, your target market spends money. This is what they do. They're out there spending money. The only question is, are you going to get your hands on some of this money? Now, I'm not talking about stealing the money, but understand, someone's going to market these people. Someone's going to get in the path of that transaction and make money from it. It should be you. Whatever you're building a list of prospects and customers in that marketplace, here's what you want to do. You want to go out and you want to make a big list, okay, for your market of what your market buys. Remember, we talked about doing research, and we talked about looking at what they might buy by looking at magazines and going on to Google and going to forums. You want to make a big list of everything they buy. For example, let's say golfers, I would say they buy golf equipment, but be very specific. They buy golf balls, golf tees, golf bags, golf clubs, putters, wedges, drivers, irons. They buy golf hats. They buy golf shoes. They buy golf clothes. They might buy special golf sunglasses. They buy golf gloves. They might buy magnetic wristbands for golfers because they sometimes are in pain. They'll buy all kinds of golf education to learn how to drive better, putt better, short game better. And that education could be videos that they're buying online. They could be physical videos that are delivered. Could be actually golf training schools, which they have a lot of. They buy golf trips both in the U.S. and internationally. They buy golf books, physical books, as well as ebooks. So I have this long list of stuff that golfers buy, and I might even find that golfers tend to buy lots of other stuff related to this. And so what happens is that as I look through this list, I make this really long list of everything. And I mean everything. Don't say, well, I'm never going to sell that, I'm never going to create that, because you don't have to. You want to make this really big list because whatever your market buys, there's somebody who's got an affiliate program for it probably. So you can refer and recommend it to the people that are your prospects and customers, and whenever they make a purchase, you can get paid for it. So what you do is you go check out these affiliate programs. Now, how do you find an affiliate program? It's really simple. Let's say you want to find a golf affiliate program. You go to Google and you search for literally golf affiliate program. Just search those keywords, golf affiliate program, and you'll find a whole bunch of them. You can search for golf clothes affiliate program, golf ball affiliate program, golf travel affiliate program. Just keep searching. You'll find all kinds of affiliate programs related to stuff with golf or whatever your target market is. And when you do this, this is tremendously powerful because now you can be following up with these people and getting them to buy lots of stuff where you just get paid referral fees. Right? Now, understand, online, there are people just from affiliate stuff, okay, who make millions of dollars. I don't really have the exact numbers, but I probably make close to $1 million a year just by being an affiliate. Why? Because I'm not going to create everything in every market that's the best stuff, because I can't possibly do that. I don't have a big enough company or big enough staff. But there are people who are experts, people come up with great stuff that I can recommend. You're going to be able to do the same exact thing in your target market. Recommend all the very best products and services in that market. So when you do that, you're going to be able to profit greatly from doing all this. So this is really important, again, that we get this big list of all the stuff we're going to have on the back end to sell, because by doing that, we're going to put ourselves in a position to get all that profit and avoid that big mistake that people make by just saying, well, I just sell this. I sell golf balls or golf tees, or I sell one book about golf. Because, their customers are spending a lot of money, whether those people are showing up or not, whether those people are letting anybody else buy stuff or not, they're spending money. And since they're going to spend a lot of money, you've got to be in a position to go and capture that money. Now, one last concept I want to show you in relation to this is what's called the marketing funnel. And you'll have to forgive the fact that I am not artistically creative, but I should probably label this so you know what this is. This is a funnel, because probably without a name, you're actually going to wonder, what in the heck is that thing? This is a funnel, and it represents a marketing funnel. And the simple concept of the marketing funnel is this. At the top, you have many people who come in. Many people. And at the bottom, you have fewer people. So the top, many people, the bottom, fewer people. And at the top, people first come in oftentimes for free. Then they might spend low dollars. The first purchase to get into your marketing system, right? That initial first front-end transaction. At the bottom, in many cases, they're going to be spending a lot of money. And so this is how the marketing funnel works. And so what you want to do is have a funnel. Again, we talked about this is where the front end part comes in. These arrows represent different sources of traffic into your funnel. Now, traffic is simply online, what we call getting people to visit your website. So it's traffic. So the traffic comes into this funnel. And like I said, they might be free leads, or they might be buying a low-priced product. And so there will be lots of people coming in the top as your business builds. And so after they buy that initial product, and let's say that product costs between $20 and $100. Well, some people will buy another product, and they might spend between $100 and $250. And then somebody might come down and they might spend between $250 and $500. And then you might have something between $500 and $1,000. And these are not, precise things. Just to give you an idea, as you go down, there are less and less people that come down each section of this. And so by the time you get down here, you might have somebody who's spending somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000. Now you say, people would never spend that. People spend that every single day. They spend that buying education. They spend that buying golfing equipment. They spend that taking trips. They spend that in a lot of markets. People spend tens of thousands of dollars on gardening and redoing gardening, or putting in vegetable gardens, or whatever it might be. And so it doesn't matter whether your funnel gets that far or not, but however far it gets, the further it gets, the more opportunity there is for you to make money. Realize that as you get people in the funnel, the more people in the funnel, when you have a funnel, it works. Do you have to create all of the products and services that are offered in the funnel? Obviously, the answer is no, because anywhere down below here, initially, and maybe forever, depending upon how big you want to build your business, these are all going to be affiliate products and services that you're going to have, because by having these affiliate products and services, you're able to go ahead and create this marketing funnel and have this front and this back end working for you without having to spend a whole lot of money on anything like creating more products, all this other stuff. I'm going to give you a big warning right now, because I want to come back to something I said earlier in the videos, which is that you're going to look at all of this at this point and go, I'm never going to get this all created. No, you don't have to. See, initially, all we got to do is get started at the beginning. But I want you to understand how this all goes together and how you're going to succeed at all this and where all the money is, because I think that's why people sometimes get defeated. They're like, well, I sold 100 customers last month. I didn't make any money. I barely broke even. Well, if you understood the back-end marketing to sell the customers and some leads you probably got on a list, then you might have made $500 or $1,000 or $2,000 from those people last month. And this month you get another 100 customers. Now you have 200 customers to sell on the back end too. So you don't even need a huge amount of customers when you understand how to use this back end and use the marketing funnel to create more money out of what you're doing. And literally, as you get an email list built, you can push a button and make money. So that's a really important concept that you need to follow through with. So you don't have to have all of this to get started, but you do have to understand where you're going, because this is where you're going to make a lot of money. And this is where I talked about early on. You get that penny, you start doubling every day, and it's going to build, and you're going to build all this stuff as you go. And as you build these different pieces of things, you're going to end up becoming hugely successful, because you're putting all the pieces together just like they need to be put together. And when you do that, like we talked about, you'll start small and just be a little bit, and then it'll get bigger, and then it'll get bigger, and then pretty soon you're going to get to the really big dollars like I do. And folks, that's when it's a whole lot of fun. So that's what we need to look at. That's how we need to try to put this together. Then your long-range view, just a few months down the road, is that you have this whole funnel and system, front end, back end, all together, and that's where you're going to see really, really big money.